And this is Brutus. Broken leg. He's going to town. Another 3.5, 4 weeks with that cast on his leg. He's not, I wouldn't say bouncing around, but he's definitely going to town. He's sucking the bottle back twice a day right now. And as he gets a little older, it will probably be up to 3. You gonna turn around? There you go. He's a little nervous about taking big steps. So this spot right here where he is probably the best for him. Coming? You got to get in here. Come on. I try to get him to take a few steps, move around a little bit, just to give that upper leg a little bit of exercise. That's it. You can do it. There you go. I gotta get a bag of wood shavings for his pen here. He's getting pretty wet. Anyway, talk to you all later. How's she going today, guys? Brutus! How you doing there, little man? You liking this a lot better? Huh? So yesterday, CP and I built these panels years ago for when she had sheep still. And then we used them for the piggy pen. And now it's for Brutus pen. CP put him outside in here this morning when she came and bottle fed him, and she said he was just happy as a pig in shit because he was bouncing around and just loving life. This would be better for him. He's got more traction on this dirt versus that wood floor, where his solid little hooves are slipping and sliding. But anywho, her garden's coming. She did get a bunch of new plants and have to replant from when it froze, but taters are all popping up. Her cucumbers aren't doing worth a fuck. There's actually only one there, and she said there was another one. I'm not sure where it is. I don't know. Maybe right here. This looks like it's got a little bit of a buggered leaf on it, but the carrots are starting. The lettuce is up. The onions are doing really good. So that's all good and fine and dandy. But anywho, we got some things that I gotta get dealt with. One of them being the disc since we're done with it for the summer, we'll see if we do any disking this fall. That's yet to be decided on, but I got to get the disc put away, and we got to deal with the manure spreader, move it and put it away. From when we were spraying, and I popped the rubber off of the rim. I want to get that tire and see if we can't fix it. As you all can see very well, I'd say the tire is not on the rim, and the rim is a little bit damaged, so we got to fix that. So yeah, there's a couple of things that need to get dealt with here right away. So I'm going to get to work at moving things, and we'll bring you guys back here after a bit. Talk to you later. Alrighty guys, so CP and I were talking this morning. Since I'm going to be hooked up to the manure spreader to move it from where it was parked since all winter basically, and all spring, we got a pile of friggin' garbage straw over here. Bales that got ripped apart, fell apart because the mice got into them so bad, so on and so forth. We might as well just haul that stuff out, get rid of it. We don't have to put it on actual farmland. It could go onto pasture property also. And we do have one pasture that is lacking organic material. So I'm going to work at trying to clean up this friggin' pile of shit. Slowly but surely. And hopefully not dig a goddarn hole, right? That's the idea anyways. And there's going to be a pile of twine and whatnot else in here. I know that. But yeah, we can work at hauling this stuff out and getting it out into the pasture. And the straw cover will create a little bit of a protector base, so to speak, so the ground doesn't dry out so bad. And it'll give the ground some organic material for it to deal with. At least in my eyes, that's how I see it. So yeah, we got to get all of this cleaned up. Probably be a couple loads here. And then we can put the shit spreader away for the summer, because I won't be using it much over the summertime. Anyway, I'll bring you back when we're all loaded up. Alrighty guys, I want to show you something out here. So this is our pasture, or what we call our west pasture. And this is generally where we feed the cows in the wintertime. So it's basically, it's all just wide open, right? Anyway, this pasture has come a long way over the years. Now, what I'm trying to show you is the difference between somewhat fertilized with natural organic fertilizer from the cows, like the manure and hay wastage or feed wastage. So you can see how the grass out here is it's nice and green, but it's not a real dark lush green. And as I scroll across, here's a good spot right here. So you see right here, it's a nice and green, but it's kind of a pale green. And then I scroll up and see that all through here, all this part over here where it's darker, the grass is thicker, the grass is heavier. You see that? That's all area where the animals were fed, where the manure was. So basically it was right there, right in that spot where the end of my fingers are, right here. That was a feeding spot. And when we came in with the harrows and we harrowed it all around, spread it out more, and got that organic matter farther away, out this way, out that way, you can see how much more area we covered versus just that one spot. There's lots of spots out here, like down there, there's a bunch of organic matter that we spread around with the harrows. Over there, it was really, really heavy, and we couldn't get it spread really well to break it down enough, but we did spread it around a lot more, that these areas where the grass is thicker, it's heavier, it's lusher, all of the good stuff, right? Just to give you an eyeballs view, so to speak, of the difference that we made by harrowing versus just leaving it sit. And the whole idea of this old straw, like this stuff that I've got in the manure spreader right now, there it is. That stuff that's in there right now is, well, this fall would be 4 years. And I know I'm not going to use it, what's left in there. I'm not going to bother using it for anything other than once the crop is off the field, then when we go to spread manure, clean corrals, and put the manure out in the fields, then I would load this and throw it out there. But we've got area out here. This pasture never really produced much grass for us. And then we started feeding out here and spreading that manure pack around more and more. And now we're starting to see, over the last few years, we're starting to see quite an impact on what that's been doing for us. This area out here, it's been really poor grass, doesn't do well. It's thin, and it just seems to be lacking. But right where we're feeding, you can see there is a difference in the color alone. So that's the whole idea of what we're trying to accomplish out here by moving that manure around and getting more organic matter out onto this ground. Some guys would say just plow it under. And yeah, that I could do that. Downside to doing that, my ground out here has got so many friggin' rocks, and I don't want to rip the ground up. I want to try and get this ground to come back natural. And there's so many rocks out here, I would literally have to hire a track hoe to come in and pick rocks for a couple of days. And then I'd go in, I'd spike it, and then I'd have to get the track hoe to come back and get more rocks, because I would uproot a bunch and potentially bust a bunch of equipment. So that's why we're not doing it. I think we can get this ground to come back quite half decently just by doing what we're doing. So I'm gonna let you go. We'll bring you all back later. They're mad at me because they want to be out on grass when they're in the corral. But 2.5 loads. We got this cleaned up and the wind is blowing again. So now I just got to grab our little yard drag harrows and I'll drag it around, and then we'll be done. Talk to you later. There, the rock pile that was here is gone. It's way down there with the other rocks, except for 3. One is right there at that gateway, just on the other side of the post, the fence, and another one is there. And then the biggest one of them all I need to ask CP if she wants it put someplace else or not. Is that big bastard right there. It's the size of the bucket of the friggin' skid steer. It's all the skid steer has to pick that fucker up. But he does pick him up. So I don't know if she's gonna want it placed somewhere or not, but if anybody's like needing or wanting a rock, landscape rock for the yard or something, just come on over. We got lots. Anyway, I'm going for a coffee and talk CP, so we'll talk to you guys later.